Have you ever noticed that some men don't chase attention, yet people naturally gravitate toward them? They're not always the richest. They're not always the most handsome. They're not the loudest person in the room. So, what's different about them? Psychology suggests that attraction often begins long before appearance or clever words ever matter. Today, you'll discover three powerful psychological secrets that make women feel naturally attracted to someone, not through manipulation, not through fake confidence, but through genuine human behavior that creates emotional comfort and curiosity. And the third secret is surprisingly simple, yet it's something most people completely overlook. Let's dive in. Before we begin, here's something important. Attraction isn't a magic formula. Every person is different, every relationship is unique. But psychologists have spent decades studying why certain behaviors consistently leave stronger emotional impressions than others. The secrets you're about to learn aren't tricks to make someone like you. Instead, they're behaviors that naturally increase trust, curiosity, and emotional connection. When you understand these principles, you'll stop trying so hard to impress people and start becoming someone others genuinely enjoy being around. Let's begin with the first psychological secret. Secret number one: calm confidence creates emotional safety. Imagine two men entering the same room. The first one speaks loudly. He constantly tries to prove himself. He interrupts conversations. He wants everyone to notice him. The second man walks in quietly. He smiles. He listens before speaking. He doesn't rush to become the center of attention. Yet somehow, people slowly gather around him. Why? Because our brains naturally associate calmness with emotional stability. When someone stays composed under pressure, it sends a subtle message: I can handle difficult situations. Psychologists often describe confidence as being less about dominance and more about emotional regulation. In other words, real confidence isn't loud, it's steady. Think about someone you've admired in real life, maybe a teacher, a leader, a family member, or even a friend. Chances are what made them memorable wasn't how much they talked, it was how comfortable everyone felt around them. Now imagine you're on a first conversation with someone. You speak clearly, you maintain relaxed body language, you don't rush your words, you don't desperately seek approval. Instead, you genuinely enjoy the moment. Without realizing it, the other person's brain begins to associate your presence with calmness. And emotional safety is incredibly attractive. Here's where many people make a mistake. They think confidence means pretending to be fearless. But psychology suggests something different. Confidence grows from self-acceptance. It's okay to admit you don't know everything. It's okay to laugh at your own mistakes. Ironically, people often trust someone more when they aren't trying to appear perfect, because perfection feels distant, authenticity feels human. So instead of asking, how do I impress her? Try asking, how do I make this conversation feel relaxed? That small shift changes everything, because attraction often grows in environments where people feel emotionally safe, not emotionally pressured. Secret number two: curiosity is more attractive than trying to be interesting. Here's a surprising question. Who do you enjoy talking to more? Someone who spends the entire conversation talking about themselves, or someone who genuinely wants to understand you? Most people choose the second, and psychology explains why. Human beings naturally enjoy feeling seen, not judged, not analyzed, simply understood. Imagine meeting someone who remembers the small things you mentioned weeks ago. Your favorite coffee, your dream vacation, a hobby you casually brought up. Suddenly, you feel important, not because they performed some clever trick, but because they paid attention. Active curiosity creates emotional connection. Notice something interesting. Children ask hundreds of questions every week. As adults, many people stop being curious. Instead, conversations become performances. People wait for their turn to speak instead of truly listening. Now picture this. You're talking with someone after work. Instead of immediately sharing your own story, you ask, what was the best part of your day? Their face lights up. They begin telling a story. You listen carefully. You ask another thoughtful question. Without realizing it, they're becoming more emotionally invested in the conversation. Why? Because meaningful conversations activate positive emotional experiences. And here's the fascinating part. Research has suggested that people often remember how someone made them feel, more than exactly what they said. Think about that. You don't need perfect lines. You don't need endless jokes. You don't need to impress with expensive experiences. You simply need genuine curiosity. There's another psychological reason this works. When people talk about meaningful parts of their lives, they often experience positive emotions. Their brain then begins connecting those good feelings with the person they're talking to. It's subtle, but powerful. However, curiosity should never feel like an interview. Don't fire question after question. Instead, Listen, respond naturally. Share your own thoughts too. A great conversation feels like playing catch. Both people throw the ball, both people receive it. That's where connection begins. So far, we've covered two powerful psychological secrets: calm confidence and genuine curiosity. But the final secret might be the most important of all, because it's not about what you say, it's not about how you look, it's about something your brain communicates before you even realize it. And once you understand this, you'll never look at attraction the same way again. Secret number 3: emotional consistency builds deep attraction. Imagine two different people. The first replies enthusiastically one day, then disappears for several days. One moment they're warm, the next moment they're distant. Their behavior constantly changes. Now imagine someone else. They're respectful, kind, reliable. Their mood doesn't swing wildly. You generally know what to expect from them. Which person feels easier to trust? For most people, the answer is obvious. Our brains naturally look for patterns. Consistency reduces uncertainty, and uncertainty often creates emotional stress. Many people mistakenly believe unpredictability creates attraction. While mystery can spark curiosity, long-term emotional attraction usually grows through reliability. Think about your closest friendships. What makes them valuable? It's knowing those people will probably treat you tomorrow the same way they treated you today. That predictability creates comfort. Now imagine this real-life situation. You promise to call someone after work. You actually do. You say you'll arrive at 6, you arrive at 6. You tell someone you'll support them during a difficult week, and you follow through. These actions seem ordinary, but psychologically, they're incredibly powerful. Every kept promise strengthens trust. Every consistent action reinforces credibility. Over time, your words and actions begin matching perfectly. That's when people start feeling emotionally secure around you, and emotional security often becomes the foundation of meaningful attraction. Here's something interesting. People frequently overestimate dramatic gestures and underestimate everyday consistency. Anyone can be charming for one evening. It's much harder to remain kind during stressful moments. Anyone can act confident while everything goes well. Real character appears when life becomes difficult. That's exactly what people subconsciously notice. They observe patterns, not performances. Think about someone you deeply respect. Chances are, their reputation wasn't built in one day. It was built through hundreds of small, consistent actions. Attraction works similarly. Small moments accumulate: a thoughtful message, keeping your word, respecting boundaries, listening carefully, remaining calm during disagreements. None of these moments seem extraordinary by themselves, but together, they create a powerful emotional impression. And that's often what lasts. Let's connect everything we've learned. Imagine someone who walks into a room with quiet confidence. They aren't trying to dominate anyone. They're simply comfortable being themselves. During conversations, they ask thoughtful questions. They genuinely listen. People leave feeling understood instead of overlooked. Then, over time, their actions consistently match their words. They become someone others naturally trust. Notice something important. None of these behaviors require manipulation. None depend on expensive clothes. None require pretending to be someone else. They're based on psychological principles that strengthen genuine human connection, because lasting attraction isn't built through performance. It's built through authenticity, emotional intelligence, and consistency. Let's finish with a simple story. Two friends once asked an older mentor the same question: what makes someone unforgettable? The mentor smiled. He pointed toward a large tree. People admire the flowers, he said, but they trust the roots. The friends looked confused. The mentor continued: flowers attract attention for a season. Strong roots keep the tree standing for years. Human relationships aren't very different. Anyone can create a good first impression, but lasting attraction grows from qualities beneath the surface: calmness, curiosity, consistency. Those are the roots, and when those roots become part of your everyday behavior, people naturally notice, not because you're trying to convince them, but because authenticity is surprisingly rare. So let's quickly recap the 3 psychological secrets. First, calm confidence creates emotional safety. Second, genuine curiosity makes people feel valued and understood. Third, emotional consistency builds trust that grows into deeper attraction over time. These aren't shortcuts, they're habits, and habits shape how people experience your presence. The goal isn't to become someone different, the goal is to become a stronger version of who you already are. Because in the end, people rarely remember perfect words. They remember how safe, how respected, and how appreciated they felt around you. And those feelings often leave the strongest impression of all. If you enjoyed this video and learned something valuable, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more psychology-based insights that help you better understand relationships, human behavior, and the fascinating science behind attraction. Now tell me in the comments, which of these 3 psychological secrets surprised you the most and why? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.